In the previous video, we've proved this. Hang on. In the previous video, we've proved this. Now we are going to use this to prove that this equals this. Okay. So in order to prove this here, we are going to consider this this summation here. We are going to consider this summation here. I know it's kind of strange in that we are trying to prove this here equals this. We are trying to sort this out, but yet we are considering this sequence here. Okay, so yes, I know we are trying to prove this, but let's consider this this summation here. So when you try and evaluate this summation here, it will give you this. It will give you this. Okay, so when k equals 1, then you see this here is when k equals 1. Now increase the k to 2. And so when k equals 2, if you put it into here and then into here, it will give you this. So this here is when k equals 1. This is k equals 2, k equals 3, k equals 4. This is when k equals n. This is when k equals n minus 1, and so on. You can continue over here. Okay. So when you hang on, we are trying to prove this here, but yet we are considering this weird random sequence here. Okay, so yes, we are considering this, but we are trying to prove this, but we are going to consider this. When you evaluate this, it will give you this whole thing here. Now tidy up. So let's imagine this as being like one block here. That's this block. This is being another block, and this is being another block here. This is being another block, and so on here. Okay, but the thing is, this thing here will get cancelled out with this thing here. Okay, the 3 to the power 3 will get cancelled out with this, and then this one here will get cancelled out with this one here, and then if you were to continue with this sequence here, this will eventually get cancelled out with some other term over here. Okay, now let's work from the other end. This n to the power of 3 here will get cancelled out with this one here, and then if you were to continue, this one here would get cancelled out with something over here. Okay, so if you were to continue this whole sequence, everything will get cancelled out apart from this one and this one here. Okay, so that will then take us to here. Now tidy this up. That will then take us to here, and then blah blah blah. It will then take us to here. So a summary: we were trying to we were trying to evaluate this thing here. Okay, but in order for us to evaluate this thing here, we are going to consider this summation here. But the thing is, when we try to evaluate this summation here, it then gave us this thing here. Okay, we are trying to evaluate this thing here, but you see, somewhere buried in here is this thing here. So this thing here is buried somewhere in this whole thing here. So now we are going to break this up and then try to extract this thing. Okay, so hang on. We were trying to evaluate this, but then we consider this random summation here. When we try to evaluate this, it then gave us this thing here. So now we are going to break this thing up and try to extract this, because somewhere buried in this whole thing here is this thing here. Okay, so far we know that this equals this, and by the way, in the previous video we've shown this. Okay, but just bear this in mind. Okay, later on. So hang on. Some buried in here somewhere is this thing here. So this thing here is buried somewhere in here. So let's try and break this up now. So multiply this out. That will then give us this whole thing here. Okay, so this thing here is this thing here, and k to the power of 3 is this thing here. Okay, so currently we're trying to break this up and then try to extract somewhere in there, extract this. Okay, so multiply this out, it will then give you this thing here. This here is this thing here, and then these two will get killed off. Okay, giving you this here, and then break this up. So this thing here becomes this thing here becomes this is just a constant, it becomes this. Okay, and then well, this is a constant. When you try and sum up a constant, it's just simply n times whatever number is here. So in this case, it's 1. So this whole thing here will become n. Okay, and then this bit here, only this bit here. Remember, in the previous video, we've shown this. In the previous video, we've shown that this equals this. So now, whenever we see this, we are going to use this. Okay, so this was done in the previous video. So hang on. So down to here. So from here. So remember, this thing here is n. And then in the previous video, we've shown that this equals this thing here. Don't forget the 3 is out here. Okay, and then multiply this in here. So this times this. How it would be this times this times this, and then later on, blah blah blah. This whole block here becomes this. Okay, and then so basically this whole thing here. Basically, this whole thing here will become this thing here. Okay, so now we are trying to extract this now. This is what we're trying to extract. So make this the subject of this equation, if you like. You've got the whole equation here. Now make this the subject. Okay, so take away n from both sides. So at the moment, you've got an equation. On the left-hand side, it's this. On the right-hand side, it's this. We are trying to extract this here. Okay, so in your mind, take away n from both sides. That will then give you this. Okay, and then now times everything by 2. So at the moment you've got one block plus this block here plus this block plus this block plus this block here. At the moment we've got 2 layers here. 1, 2. We want to get everything onto one layer. So times everything by 2. So this times 2 would be this, okay, times 2 here will be that, and then this thing here times 2 will then give us this, and then this times 2 will then give us this times 2 will give us this times 2 will give us this. Okay, now that everything's on one layer, take away 3n from both sides, so that will then give us this, and then take away n squared from both sides, that will then give us this. Okay, so now divide everything by 6, that will then give you this thing here, and then now this is on its own now, so it's just a matter of tidying this up. So you can see that at the moment you've got this block plus this block plus this block here. N is in common with all 3, so factor out the n. So that will then take us to this, and then blah blah blah. It then equals this. Okay. So hang on. So yeah. So it then equals this. So this is your final answer here. Okay.